Hey everybody, Chuck Barone. Tuesday, September the 13th, 2022. And what a difference a day makes, guys. Wow, the optimism that was here yesterday, gone today. Lots to talk about. As always, before we start the show, I just want to say thanks to everybody for supporting the channel, for watching the videos, and all you guys do to make the channel a success. It's all because of you guys, and we appreciate you. In the markets today, big day, guys, big day. Stocks today, the only word I can think of is boom. It just was an explosion in the stock market. Stocks down across the board in a big way. NASDAQ down more than 5%. S&P down just about to right around 4% today. Looks like the S&P is going to touch that $3,900 or 3,900 level on the S&P, testing that low. Could go down to the June lows. Nothing good signs for anything in the market today, guys. Everything blown up because of some bad policy and some bad speakers out there. Anyway, bad day for the market, down across the board. If you're in the defensive position that we've been talking about since we started this show, utilities, preferred stocks, food and drugs and soap, and the stuff we've been recommending, you're hanging in there right now, but the rest of the market is just looking kaboom. The bond market also today, another down day massively. Yields going crazy. The 10-year sitting at 3.42. That's not a level the market's going to like, guys. And the bad news is it's just starting now. These numbers are going to go up. They're going to go up dramatically. There's going to be pain, big pain coming now. The 2-year really flying today up to 3.75%. Pretty soon you're going to get 4% on a 2-year treasury. That's going to look pretty appealing to me. Bond market going crazy. This inflation stuff, bad news. Dollar, of course, with the view that rates are going to be going up. Dollar strengthening today, back up to 109.8. Looks like it's going to go to 110 and beyond. The dollar right now, king of currencies, against all the other world's currencies. Sure as hell isn't king in the grocery store. Cream cheese is king, and milk and eggs, but dollar right now against the world's currencies performing very well. Of course, the strong dollar puts big pressure on the metals market. Another down day for metals today. Gold sitting at $1,704 per ounce. Silver at $19.36 per ounce. Silver looks like it wants to hang in there. Gold's holding that 1,700 support line nicely. I think metals are poised for a breakout to the upside if we can get, the strength of this dollar ebbs a little bit. It looks like the metals want to move, but the pressure from the dollar, the strength of that dollar, keeping metals kind of stuck in place here. Oil down today, $87.50 for a barrel of West Texas Intermediate. Oil's been gyrating all over the place. Natural gas up again today, $8.40 for their million BTU. Natural gas has been the big winner in commodities. It looks like it's going to keep going up, especially with this Russia thing with Europe. Going to be big demand for natural gas and not a lot of supply, so you can see where that's going. Bitcoin today, not a great day for Bitcoin, down over $2,000, but holding that $20,000 support number, which I like. Terrible day for Bitcoin, but if it can keep that support above 20K and start building from there, I think Bitcoin's going to be okay. Just a very bloody day today is all in the market. Obviously, the big news today in the market, the C.P.I. numbers coming in. C.P.I. top line number, headline number coming in at 8.3%. They were expecting 8.1%. Surprise to the upside, which caused this big crisis in the markets today. And another part of that was core rates rising to 6.3%. They were expecting core rates to actually go up. They were expecting the main top line number to go down. They were expecting 8.1 on the top line number. They got 8.3. They're expecting 6.2 in the core number. They got 6.3. And what's been happening, guys, is, they've been out here. We were talking about, they were back to their talk about peak inflation, talking about how they kind of, especially with the price of energy, oil and gasoline coming down as dramatically as it was, there was hopes that this inflation would look a little bit better, the numbers on this, but food and rents and healthcare going up like crazy, offsetting those, the little bit of benefit we've had from declining oil and gasoline prices, making these numbers look horrible. I think it cements the idea of what we've been saying all along, guys. We've been telling you guys that there's going to be a recession. We're already kind of in a recession. It's just the beginning here, but it's going to be painful now because these interest rates, or these inflation rates, and what these inflation rates are going to force the Federal Reserve to do to bring inflation down are going to cause a lot of pain in this economy, guys. The bottom line is we've been telling you, inflation, okay, we got inflation. The Federal Reserve, everybody thinks they raise rates to bring inflation down. Well, they do, but it's not the actual raising of rates that brings inflation down. It's the recession. Small, deep, long, short, whatever, the recession that comes with those interest rate increases are what brings the demand side down and helps lower those prices. With the big surprises to the upside today, I think that this cements a few things for us. Number one, more heavier rate hikes are coming. Nomura Bank was out today saying they wouldn't be surprised to see 100 basis points next week when the Fed has their Federal Open Market Committee meeting. Everybody's been expecting 3/4. With the way things have been progressing earlier, over the last week or two, people were actually hoping that these inflation numbers would be down. They would only have to raise a half this month. Well, now it looks like 3/4 is locked in pretty good, if not more. Nomura is saying 100%, 100 basis point bump. Some other things we can expect. Well, we're going to have this recession, and this recession is going to be caused by rate hikes. It's going to start with real estate, where it's already doing. It's going to ripple all the way through the economy. I think that this cements it now. There's no more, well, maybe not soft landing, Hindenburg and all that stuff. We know what's coming now, guys. I think what's going to happen is expectations of future inflation are going to start hardening. People, they were taking to heart what people were saying about inflation softening. And when they get these kind of disappointments where they think it's going to go down and it actually goes up, in spite of what they're seeing with their own eyes and what they're paying for everything. This is the kind of stuff, these disappointments are where people lose faith in these government people, these Federal Reserve people, bankers, and everybody else. They start to cement this idea that they don't know what they're doing, that they have no idea how to control this. They cement the idea that inflation's here to stay, which presents just another whole set of problems for our friends at the Federal Reserve. We can also expect more surprises like this, where they're going to try and talk this inflation down, and you're going to get surprises to the upside like this. I think it wouldn't be a big surprise to see that happen more as they're trying to fight this not only monetary and market battle, but they're trying to fight this psychological battle by making people not have these high expectations for inflation. The bummer about this inflation is it is hitting people, us, the schmuckatellis, the working people here in the United States. It's hitting us where it hurts the worst. In stuff that's unavoidable: food, rent, and medical care. These are the three main drivers of this report today. Food prices up 13% year over year. We're all seeing that at the supermarket. Healthcare costs going up. Rents going through the roof. We've reported on that ad nauseum on the show. Even with the benefit of energy prices coming down temporarily, all this other stuff going up as fast and as high as it is, offset that and more, leading to these crappy numbers today. I think that also you're going to see, it's now for sure baked into the cake, that you're going to see layoffs starting. And this employment thing that Fed is convinced is driving this inflation, they're going to get it under control. They're going to force businesses to start laying off. They're going to get this employment number up. That's what they feel like they need to do. They feel like the hot job market is driving inflation. They're going to try and cool that market down, and they know exactly how to do it, guys. Also, other initial other stuff you guys need to know about today. I was reading an article that was interesting. It said Wall Street mergers business is down 50%, according to J.P. Morgan Chase. That's a catastrophic drop for our friends on Wall Street. You know, their mergers and acquisition business is where they make the big percentage of their money along with their trading desks. A 50% drop hurts. J.P. Morgan Chase saying that layoffs and reduced bonuses, and you know those Wall Street guys do not dig those reduced bonuses, so I'm guessing we're going to see more layoffs than reduced bonuses. But when reduced bonuses get into the conversation, well, that's usually not a good sign for the economy, because these Wall Street guys always get theirs before everybody else. Also, an interesting article I read today that kind of had me a little bit pissy today. I was reading an article that said that 20% of Congress, senators, House of Representatives, have traded in stocks that presented a conflict of interest. In other words, they sit on the committee that oversees or regulates that business. They know insider information. They were talking about one congressman whose wife sold Boeing the day before they announced management was in on these crashes. Blatant insider trading by our friends in Congress. They identified 97 senators and House members who were doing this trading against a conflict of interest. These Congress critters, man. So what they did is, you know, we've all been hearing about how they're going to make it illegal for them to do this insider trading. And they actually supposedly passed a bill that said they would make it illegal. Well, what they did was, it's only illegal, okay, if you don't disclose the trades within 45 days. So you can do anything you want, trading on insider information, blatantly getting bribed and soft money, you know, bribes to these Congress people by this insider information. And as long as you disclose the trades, and of course that creates plausible deniability for them. I didn't know anything, you know, I didn't know. 45 days will makes it okay for the Congress critters to do insider trading. Yay, guys. I mean, wouldn't that be nice if we could do insider trading, and as long as we disclosed it within 45 days, it would be legal? We don't get the benefit that our friends in Congress get. It's just, that was something that kind of got me a little hot today. Because if they're saying 20% and 97 of these Congress critters have been identified, I'm guessing the numbers are more like 100% of these people. If you could do this legally, and you had access to the inside information that our Congress has, I mean, and it was legal for you to take advantage of that, would you do it? I'm guessing the answer to most would be yes. And it's just human nature, man. Everybody wants gains. Everybody wants to do well, be wealthy. And if it's legal, why not, right? Anyway, more shenanigans by our elected schmucks. And to close out today, in further signs of the apocalypse, which is my favorite way of ending the show now, because it just adds a little bit of humor and offbeat, different stuff to this crazy, horrible down cycle we're in the markets. Here in Las Vegas, they're having a case right now, a murder case, that is just lighting the town on fire. There's an investigative journalist named Jeff German. He's been with the Las Vegas Sun and the Las Vegas Review-Journal for almost 40 years. This is one of the best investigative journalists, not only in Vegas, but in the country, probably. This is a guy that's written exposés on the mafia, crooked Congress people, crooked politicians, insider deals, and all kind of the shenanigans going on here in Vegas. Well, he was recently murdered, stabbed to death at his home. Now they've identified the suspect, and the suspect is this guy, I can't remember his name, some public administrator that was the head of the Department of Probate here in Clark County. And German actually did a series of exposés on this guy in the hostile work environment. And I guess this guy was having an affair with one of the staffers in his office and, you know, creating this horrible situation. And German went and reported all this stuff. And this guy was then defeated in his primary. here in Nevada when he was running for re-election, was actually beaten by a subordinate in his office. Obviously, with the shenanigans with this office staffer led to a little bit of a fissure in this guy's wedding, marriage, whatever. So now this guy lashes out by killing the investigative reporter. Now this guy is a lawyer, a law school grad here at Boyd School of Law. This is a public administrator, obviously not a stupid person, right? But just goes to show you, sometimes smart people do stupid things. I don't know how this guy thought he was going to get away with this. They got film of him. They got film of him getting away in his disguise. They got film of his car. I mean, this guy is certainly no criminal genius, so some arch criminal. It's really a kind of a sad story, but just the state of affairs in this country right now where people actually think they can get away with this kind of stuff. The lunacy of killing a journalist because he exposed the truth of what you're doing. Further signs of the apocalypse, guys. Crazy times we're living in. Now we know we got a big data day coming. Tomorrow we're going to get the PPI numbers. They're expecting the PPI numbers to go down. Hopefully there won't be a big shock on those, right? But there's a lot of data coming out Thursday, tons of stuff. We got a lot more to report. We're going to be still talking about the market reaction to these CPI numbers today. A whole bunch of stuff to go over. We appreciate your patronage, guys. Lots to talk about for the rest of this week. Of course, as always, like, share, comment, ask your questions. Make sure to check your subscription and your notifications. It looks like YouTube's playing games with us again. Make sure we got that stuff dialed in. Until we talk again tomorrow, guys, take care. Thanks.